So I'm at the cell phone store talking to the cute girl, trying to figure out what kind of plan to get for my new phone, whether I should get a prepaid plan or a 1-year plan. And I'm thinking of all these useless questions just to prolong the conversation because she's really cute. And I actually came up with a good question. That was one of coverage, because I don't want to be in an area where I want to make a call and I can't make a call. I had a friend once who was in the desert. He was going to meet some friends to do some camping. And he got out there, and there's not really a lot of markers, and there's no real specific like signs saying you are here, or there's no maps. And so they kind of got their maybe signals crossed or something. And so my friend's out there in the desert. He checks his phone and there's no coverage. And he tries to use his GPS, so there's no coverage. And he thinks he's a little close to where they were supposed to meet. So he starts walking. He's got his pack on. They weren't gonna go backpacking. They were just gonna kind of car camp, kind of park in kind of a circle and have a campfire and just sit around and do shrooms or whatever. But so he put on what he thought would be enough for like an hour, so he could maybe hike around, find a high spot, look for their cars or something. So he had a couple of bottles of water, maybe a couple of power bars. And he's out walking and he gets lost. And he starts walking through these really small box canyons, like these really narrow canyons where you can't really see too far ahead because they're curving all around the place. And he's walking down these canyons, and he sees this dead guy. He's walking down these canyons and he sees this dead guy. And the guy has been dead for maybe a month because he's partially decomposed, because it's out in the desert. His skin is almost gone. And so my friend checks his wallet, check for his ID, maybe check to see if he has a phone that still has a battery that maybe has coverage where his phone doesn't have coverage. And he pulls out the guy's wallet. The guy has no ID at all. And the only money he has is Confederate money that the South used during the Civil War. And this wasn't even in an area where they fought the Civil War. So my friend was like, what the fuck? And he's sitting there trying to figure out what to do with this guy, and the fact that he doesn't have a phone. And my friend is already lost, and he sees this dead guy and he thinks, this is probably going to be me if I don't figure out how to get out of here. And my friend takes this guy's Confederate money. I don't know why he did that. He never told me. And he starts walking back to his car, but he gets lost. So now he's lost in the desert with a phone with no connection, 2 bottles of water, one of which is gone already, and a pocket full of useless Confederate money. And he keeps walking, and he falls through this. There's like this little crack, like the canyon goes over this kind of cave, and there's like a ledge on the side, and he's kind of with his back to the rock, kind of trying to walk across this ledge, and he falls in the water. And he looks around. There's no way for him to get out of this underground like pond or whatever. I guess it might have been like a stream. It had to have been a stream, but he couldn't find any way to crawl out, so he just kind of floated around in there. And as he sunk below the surface, having treaded water for maybe an hour or two, he started to drown. And as he drowned, he saw this face of a Confederate soldier in the water look at him and say, "This is not finished."